Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing. As I smoke out a little hashish and mota. Right? On our way to 2,000 subscribers, we're going to take a look at a little bit of the Bitcoin, right? And you can see right here we're at neutral, which I counterplay that. If it's down here at strong buy, I sell. If it's at buy, I get nervous. If it's at neutral, it could go either way. If it's at sell, I start thinking about buying it. If it says strong sell, I start thinking about strongly buying it, right? That's how I play that down there. Only the jabronis, if it tells you to buy it, they buy it down there. It's a lagging, very, 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 very late in the game indicator that it gives you down there. But what we got going on here is not only the beautiful laptop and the big screen, but here's why I haven't been using it as much, even at the hotel. As you can see, their new and improved Wi-Fi, not so much faster, right? Very slow. Look at this. This is a joke. We're still waiting for our lovely screen to load, and you can now see it starting to take shape here beautifully. And we're just going to go ahead and scroll that out, and you can see what we got here, right? I've been on top of this and out ahead of the competition, 69.69 steps to be exact ahead of the competition. But you can see as we dim some of this out into the background, right? We're going to take our color and we're going to dim it ever so slightly, right? And then we're going to come down here again. Just a little tutorial. Also, jabroni killers are almost here. It's within weeks that jabroni killers will become live. So you can see we got our volume indicator here. Get out of there. For this recent pump that we had, right? And we have several indicators in the background. And for the time being, we can hide a bunch of these. Hide. No, unhide. Hide. Alright, there we go. Whatever, that's good enough for now. But you can see what we got going on here. I don't want this video to be 9 hours long. You can see we talked about extensively with Bitcoin. Look at that beautiful perching tool, right? We had our top and a rising wedge. You can see at your uptrending support or your uptrending overhead resistance and your uptrending underneath support, and then a flush, right? And we told you when Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing came on down, you were going to flush. But notice how you could flush through here and then sort of pump one, pump two back up, and then flush, and now flush down. Not a lot of volume traded over here. You see that? Putrid volume. It's very little. It's not a lot. You can see here's your next area, and that's why this area is in white, right? That's your white support box, and that's a major within this area volume indicator where there's a lot of volume traded. That's why you had support and resistance, and support so far now, right? See that? Because there's a lot of buyers down there. There's a lot of trading that's take place here, and that's why this is our neckline of our mountain double top, right? This is a seldom seen, but well telegraphed because it's a multi-year pattern. When you're looking for a true one, just as we have here, right? We are in a multi-year where this pump started all the way back here in 2020, right? When we got our first big pump there. So 2020, this is now 2022. 2020 is 2 years ago, right? A little over 2 years ago. And we formed this wedge and then flushed and then came back. So it's a multi-year pattern when you're trying to telegraph one that you can really get an understanding of what's going to go on. Then you put your volume indicator when you set a technical trading chart up with Vincenzo. Once you're a member of Jabroni Killers to sidestep the market. Right? We want to sidestep the market. We want to sidestep the greedy charlatans that are out there that want to fleece, heist, and shiest you. Yes, out of your money, right? So you become member of Jabroni Killer as soon as YouTube gives us that feature now as a YouTube partner, and we will get that on to you for one simple, affordable monthly payment for all to help you audible and sidestep into the right play and to be able to sniff out, diagnose, sniff out, detect the upcoming patterns ahead of the competition. And that's what we do here on Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing. And that's what this double top is that was telegraphed. And this is the neckline that's very important. That's why when this price was coming down, we had this pattern. And we told you as soon as it breaks out of here, there's going to be some ups and downs, and the ups would start on these fib circles, but your major support zone for any kind of big bounce would be down here at the neckline at the bottom part of this white support box, right? And we had that target there and it hit it beautifully. And then we told you your first upper resistance was the top part and in the same area as the 1.618 Fibonacci retracement right here, right? We said that would be your first resistance on the way back up. And your ultimate resistance that I think and thought and still do is this orange ring. And that's exactly where you came up to it. And as soon as you hit it, you got rejected. We're going to zoom in now. And that's why you always start from the far out time frame, right? And then you got to work your way in. And that makes it super simple and easy so you can have a proper understanding on what's going on in, yes, the market, right? So you can try to sidestep an audible and a probability-based technical trading scheme to put the probabilities in the casino, that is the crypto sphere, and put the probabilities in your favor, right? And out of the hands of the casino. And that's what Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing can do for you. I don't know what is going on there. Get rid of that. And then we're going to click there and you can see, look exactly what happened. And even it did what we said. Remember here this morning when we talked and put our beautiful arrows on there? You know, I like the arrows. Look at that. On this pump, you got rejected exactly where we told you, this orange ring, and then you stayed under it. Then you had this little wick and came down. In the last video we talked about on Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing a little bit earlier today, we said watch when the futures market comes open. You could get a quick little, and see how super simple and easy this is and how easy this is to follow when you start from that far out time frame. We said watch for a fake pump up and then a quick sell off as the market opens, right? As the market opens, it would pump. And then you got to back test this orange ring. And that's the critical point. If you break it, you're coming right to the 200. Then you might trade back up, get rejected. And then you're coming all the way back down to this underneath blue ring that was playing so much resistance back there, right? So that's what you're going to do. And that's exactly what I think is happening. And it's playing out beautifully, just like we talked about before. The last video I did, check the video out. You're going to see exactly what I was talking about. I think it's still getting rejected, but you could get a little fake up as the futures market opens and the buyers come in and the traders come back in after a 2-day weekend, and then you get rejected and quickly trade back down to there. And I still think that's what's going on in the old Bitcoin, right? And then if we zoom out real quickly, because we've already got into a 7-minute video, we're going to zoom out, right? And we're going to show you why this is so important. If we get rejected and continue on to the path that we're at, you can see where your next major area where buyers are way down here. If you breach the neckline, which all this area right here, this is the neckline, the white support box. If you break that, this double top that we've just been talking about ad nauseum, right, for weeks and months, the technical target would be you take a targeted move from the top to the bottom, right? And then you grab it and you pull it to the point of a breakout, right? And the neckline's about right in there. And that actually gets you all the way down here to $13,869, right? But your first one, if you're going to take it from the smaller one, right? Oh, that's your target for, I got what's going on here. This is your target from the double top, right? Put that down there. Put it to the neckline, and it gets you all the way down there. It's a beautiful target, right? And then this is this little head and shoulders on the second mountain double top right here. That's concluding our double top. Are all jabroni enticing, because all the jabronis were formed here. This is when the original jabronis were formed. If any of you were in this, on any of these coins up in here, I told you these were all jabronis and the price was going to flush and mass panic would happen, and it did. And then we had this pump. I thought it would get topped out here on this orange ring right here. It overshot it like they always like to often do, not often but not always, and then it rolled over as expected, right? But it got a little bit higher, and I told you this is just jabronis all buying in there and jabronis all buying in there, right? The smart money bought way down there in that orange, before the orange support box, sold here, completed the sale, and then let it flush, probably shorted it, then bought it back here from all the jabronis that bought up there, right? See that? Institutional trader, sell, jabroni buy, flush, jabroni sell, institutional buy, pump, jabroni buys, institution sells, flush, right? See how that works? jabroni, and these are where the original ones were made, and now they're stacking at nauseum now, and it's great because we're gonna have coffee mugs that say jabroni, right, on it, and then we're gonna have one that's we're gonna have a coffee mug that says jabroni on one side that says don't be the Rock side. No, you can't say that because the Rock would not like that. But we could have a picture of the Rock, right? Just a rock. Don't be the Rock's eyebrow, and just have a picture of a rock and then an eyebrow, and on the other side with an arrow pointed to it. Since I love arrows, it's gonna say Vincenzo money, right? And then you can see what's going on here now that we're gonna talk about future merchandise. You got a left shoulder, see that? Then you got a nice head, and then you had that right shoulder form, right? And we're still looking for a nice little pump. That's why you could come back up to here on this pump, but I don't think so. And then the targeted move would be right there, right? It would be from the top to the neckline to the point of breakout. Bang, there's your targeted move, right? So that's what we think is going on here. Your short term underneath support 32,000. Your mid-season around summertime, a 4th of July price maybe $29,000, and then the end of the year target $18,950, right? And then we'll see how that plays out. But I think that's what's going on in Bitcoin, and that's why I'm usually showing you 3 or 4 hour time frames in these coins, because it gives you some perspective on any kind of 6 or 8 or 10 or 12% pump to help you know if you should really be excited or if it's just something went down 28% over the last week and now it's pumped 10% overnight and then quickly sells off. And then again, XRP, we're going to start from the far out time frame. And as you notice up here, this is how we start to sidestep the criminal gangsters. This is the daily time frame, right? Price action. And you can see this was another symmetrical triangle, right? And we like to find these long patterns, and this is a 10.5 month pattern. It started back here in May, right at the beginning of 2020 on that pump. You had your upper resistance at $1.69, rejected, then it flushed down in the ensuing months, and then double bottomed out finally right around July. Look at that, right around the holidays it double bottomed on the 22nd of July, then it pumped up, and that was your first 2 support levels on this uptrending support in this neutral continuation pattern that is a symmetrical triangle where you have uptrending support and descending overhead resistance, and you got rejected here at the $1.37 level, then you got rejected again, then you got support, and then a flush. And what we've been telling you to keep you out ahead of the competition since back here where we're at, and we've been overemphasizing it now after we knew we were going to threaten to retest this and most likely come back down to this wick. And we've been telling you that since that wick on the great flush of early December of 2021. We told you after this pump up and getting rejected by the 200-day in the ensuing months or weeks, however long it took, you had to come back down there and bottom again, right? And it has. But then, because we help you sidestep the criminal gangster cartel, and this is another powerful thing you're going to get as a member of Jabroni Killer, yes, I want to sidestep the market, is we started telling you and giving you the possible playbook on one of the outcomes after this flush down, bottom tier, met your target. You sometimes, and usually often, but not always, we were telling you here prior to this happening that they like to come back up and back at least. Take that as note, put that in your notebook, and this will be offered to you as a member of Jabroni Killer, straight videos right like this on a coin that's giving you a play-by-play in a monthly or yearly pattern, and then we update it in its own archived and categorized area. Like this would be XRP, symmetrical triangle, and would have snapshots, pictures of my chart, videos, timelined videos, right? And that's how you can trade this market. And you would have known here and could have went back and watched the videos as this is happening and known that we say it likes to flush, meet your target, which is right here, and then come up and at least back test this pattern, because this is a long pattern, and then you got to get rejected by it. And if you back test it and get rejected by it, that's confirming to break down, and then you would trade down to your underneath target, which I believe you're going to. But sometimes about a 1.69% chance, a 1.6 out of 10 chance, when they come up here, I don't know what that is. We're gonna want to do that. I don't know what I just did. Catastrophic failure. I dropped my little fake weed pen on here, right? See that? Oh, that turned that off. This is going to take forever to upload, and notice it's 7:54, or it's actually 6:54 because my laptop's on Eastern and I'm Central. And watch when this comes out. So it's 7:54 Eastern. See when this comes out. But notice how I lost train of thought. We were talking about how it comes to back test. Yes. And this is going to be on members of Jabroni Killer, right? You'll be able to get this kind of in-depth stuff there. But you can see it often likes to back test it, and usually it gets rejected. But in that 1.69% chance out of 10 that we were talking about with our industry exclusive drawing tool, it likes to pop back up. And notice all of this area here, the pattern's not done, it has room. So sometimes that 1.69% out of 10, they come back into here, right? And then they come up, and then they hold it as support, and then they finish the pattern out, right? And then about a 4.69 out of 10, then they just leak out and flush back down to your 47-cent eventual target. But once they take the road less traveled and they get into here, usually the next road traveled is an overshoot on the way up, which would be this green ring right here. We're going to put a price note, and then the rejection. It's already done this once on the way down, right? Then the rejection, and you make your underneath target. And it already did that once back here. People thought I had the pattern diagnosed and sniffed out over here, right? And then it started flushing on the breakdown, and then it had the overshoot and came back into the pattern, but then overshot it up here and then rolled over, and that caught a lot of people off guard, but not Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing, right? But they like to do that sometimes. If it takes the road less traveled, you would have a great shot up here, right, at this green ring, and that would fit beautifully over here. And this would be sometime into the future, probably in early spring, right about when the pattern's about to break down. But if it takes the roll less traveled, if you want a long shot bet right now, that's it right there. Because if it got there, it would be a phenomenal play from down here. It would be a phenomenal play, right? It'd be a phenomenal play, but I am not calling for it. And look at that, it just lines up beautifully. 69.69% pump, but I'm not calling for that now. But remember, if it does get back into this triangle in the upcoming days to weeks in the next month in early spring, know that that is definitely a possibility if you don't get rejected up here where you're coming to right now, right? So then we zoom in, and all the outside stuff for the far out time frames, and you can see, look at that, we're coming right up into it now, and we've been diagnosing it again from the far out time frame. This is where we started warning you with a flush, but already told you the flush was coming, but then started giving you the heads up after the flush with our industry exclusive drawing tool. We started giving you the heads up right here. It's gonna flush as it was coming into here and getting rejected, but after it met its target, they like to come back up here and back test this, right? Then they roll over. So that's what we're watching out for right now, because that's the stage of the game we're in. And if we zoom into the few minute time frame, you can see this did the same thing Bitcoin did, and it came up. And now what it's going to do is it's going to come up again right about there, then come down right about there, and then trade like that, form this continuation pattern right here on the open, and then it's going to have to make up its mind. Does it want to shoot up from there, or is it going to just get sold off and start to roll over, right? Because you can see there's a lot of sell pressure up here. Dump, 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 dump. They're just in there waiting to dump, right? So that's what we're going to watch out for right now, and that's what you got to watch out for. If it does continue up here, how does it interact with this? Does it try to get into this box? And it can peek into there, and you can't jump the gun on this, right? If this starts to come up in here like this, gets back into here, meets this traded area over top of it, and gets rejected, right? So, and then that when it gets rejected, if it got into there, this is the critical part. Does it hold that and continue up and breach that old high? Or when it trades into this heavily traded area, which is going to be all sellers in there, as it trades up, when it hits it, does it come quickly down, which it will, and then does it quickly flush back down? Because as soon as you breach that, there's nothing but air over in here recently in the price action, so it's going to flush all the way back down to here, form a little consolidation, and then dump, right? But your first halt spot would be, if you're in here and came back down, would be on this green ring right there, right? That's your underneath support right now, and we're going to put a little localized price label in there. Bam. Localized support is 64 cents now, which used to be overhead resistance on that green ring, and now this is your overhead resistance that we've been talking about for quite some time, and at nauseum again at 72 cents. Right, like, subscribe, and share to Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing. This video is going to take forever to upload, and it's been a very long video. Peace and love. Peace and love.